Math 1, we're going to take a look at our lesson here on graphing a system of inequalities that are both in slope-intercept form. That means that both of your equations are y equals, okay, and we're going to be having some slopes. The first step would be to graph your two inequalities. For example, they graphed this first one, and then they graphed the second inequality, and the solution region, remember, is where the two shadings overlap. So you graph them, you determine which way you're going to shade. If it's more or more than or equal, you shave above the line, you go up. If it's less, you shade below the line. And then don't forget to think about if it's dashed or equal signs or solid lines. Okay? And remember, there are infinitely many points in the solution region. Let's take a look at this first example right here. I'm going to do line 1 and all of the information for him right here. So the slope is 2/3. And what is the point? This is going to be the y-intercept of 0, 3. Now, what type of line are you going to have if you have an equal sign, dashed or solid? It's going to be solid. And remember, when you have a y equals equation, we don't have to test to shade. We're going to look at that symbol. And since it says less, I will shade below. So I'm going to go graph that one right now before I forget. The y-intercept is at 3. Rise up 2 over 3. 1, 2, 3. Rise up 2 over 3. Let's go the other way. Down 2, 1, 2, 3. Down 2, 1, 2, 3. And it's a solid line. So solid line with arrows as long as you can. The line goes forever. Okay? And we are going to shade below this line. So you look at the y-axis. Below goes down. We have to go less. And so this entire section of the graph paper is for the first inequality. Okay. But remember, a system of inequalities means we're going to have two inequalities. We're going to have two colors. So let's go do our second one. The second inequality right here is point-slope form. So what's the slope of this line? The slope is always in front of x, -2. I'm going to say over 1, so I can do my graph down 2 over 1. And then the special point, okay, has two numbers. We have a -4, 3. When you see a greater than sign, just greater, no equals, we will be dashed. And are we going to shade above the line or below the line? We're going to shade above the line. Let's go get this inequality graphed. So the starting point, -4, 1, 2, 3, is right there. And now we go down to right 1. My line needs to be decreasing. Down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. If these were just lines, I would have found the intersection point. But in this chapter, it's an entire region. Let's make sure we draw our dashed line. I'm going to put 2 more points going up so my line can be nice and precise. Okay. So I've got the inequality line graphed, and now I have to shade above. I have to go up. And so if you look at the y-axis, above the line is going this way. So everything above the line. When you do your two shadings, the white section is for nothing. Line 2, line 1. But where is the solution region? It's where all of the colors intersect. The solution region is all of this. Let's state a solution. Well, there are infinitely many solutions. You can pick any point, not on the dotted line, I'll pick this one right here, 3, 2. There are infinitely many answers you can pick. And the one that you pick, you now have to show work to test. We have to put the x number into the x place with parentheses. There's a lot of 3's. And the y number has to go into the y spot. And then we have to calculate. This side is a 2. And what does this side make? We have the fraction 2 over 3 times 3 plus 3, and it makes a 5. Is 2 less than 5? And the answer is yes. It worked for the first inequality. Now let's check the second one. For the second inequality, I'm going to put x as a 3, and I'm going to plug 2 into the y spot. So 2 greater than 3. Make sure you have parentheses here. Okay, the parentheses are here and here. We don't want to stop. We already have parentheses. And what does the calculator say about that? We have a negative 11. Is 2 is a positive more than a negative? And the answer is yes. It worked for both. Okay? It works for both. And that makes it a solution to the system. Let's keep going. On the next page here, we have some graphs that are drawn, and we have to find the correct region. We're going to use the clues, and we have to figure out which section is correct. And so I'm going to use my colors here. Okay? For the first clue, we have to go below the solid line. We have to go under, below. The solid line is right here. And so if we go below him, we want to go down, it's going to be all of this. So I'm going to color the graph that they drew for me. This is below the solid. But the other clue was that it is above the dashed. So let's use a second color. For the dashed line, okay, look at the y-axis. We want to make sure we go above, we go up. So we're going to color everything above the dashed line. And now it's very clear where the solution region is. This is white, that's nobody. This is only one color, and the solution region is letter D. Okay, there are going to be a couple of little puzzles like this on your test. The next one is similar, okay, but we have to get the clues ourselves. So this is greater, and there's no equal sign, so I know that this line is dashed. Let's look for some more clues, because sometimes that's not enough. I know the y-intercept is 0 minus 1, so it's got to be down here. And the slope is positive, so it's definitely talking about this line right here. Okay. And they want it to be more. So that means I'm going to shade above the line. So when you look at the line right here, when you shade above and you go up, it's all of the sections A and D. But that's not enough, because now I need to find the correct region. I need another clue. So let's go take a look at the second one. This is the solid line. This is the one that has the y-intercept at 2 with a negative slope. This is definitely the second clue. And it says more. So we're going to shade above this line as well. When you look at the y-axis, here is above. We're going to color all of that. Everything above the solid. And can you tell where the solution region is? here, section A. Okay. There will be a couple of these on the test where you have the clues. Okay. When you write an inequality from a picture, remember, we will always write in y equals form. There's a couple things you have to think about. Solid lines get equal signs, and dashed, no equal sign. You also have to think about which way they shaded. If they shaded above the line, you're going to say more. But if they shaded below the line, you say less. Let's take a look at this one right here. Okay. There are two inequalities, and it doesn't matter which one we do first. I will do this line first. Okay, so there's a couple of things I need to figure out. I need a point on this line. Is there a point on the y-axis? If there is, that is the easiest point to use. Okay. And now I need the slope. This is increasing up to over 1. I'm going to double check that a couple more times. Up to over 1, up to over 1. I like that answer. 2 over 1. What type of line is this? This is a solid line, so I know I need to use an equal sign. And which way did they shade? They shaded above the line. They shaded above the line. If you'd like to color, just to see, let's use blue. They colored above this line, and that's why that's shaded. Okay? So above needs to get a more than symbol. All of these clues have to go into your equation. Y equals more than or equals to 2x plus 2. I got the y-intercept and the slope. I got the greater and the equal sign. Put all your clues into your inequality. Let's go to the second inequality. So I need a point, and I notice there's no point on the y-axis. That's nice. So we need to find another point. I'll use this one right here. Negative 2 comma 1. And the slope of this line is down 1, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to check that again just to make sure. Down 1, 1, 2, 3. I like that answer. 1 over 3. The type of line is dashed. Okay, so no equal sign. And which way did they shade? When I look at the dotted line, the shading is up here, so they must have shaded above the line. And above gets a greater than symbol. All right, let's put all of these clues into your inequality. Dashed and above, so just a greater, no equal sign. And the equation is negative 1/3. X, is this going to be plus 2 or minus 2? Plus 2 plus 1. And that is how you write a system of inequalities. Remember, a system means you have to write 2 inequalities. 2. Okay. Let's try one more. Our first inequality. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I will pick this line right here to be inequality 1. I notice that the point is 0, 0. Another thing you need to know is the slope. What's the slope of this line? Up 1 over 1. And now there's 2 things you have to think about for this inequality. What kind of line do you see? This is a solid line. And which way did they shade? If I put the ruler here, the coloring is above. It's definitely on top of the line. They shaded above. Let's put all of these clues into our inequality. Should I use an equal sign? yes equals sign, and above gets greater. Our slope is 1x plus 0, which I will not write. I don't even need to write the 1. You could just say y is greater than or equal to x. For the second inequality, that's this one right here. This is going to be number 2 for me. It doesn't matter which one you do first. I'm going to use the y-intercept point of 0, -2. And what's the slope of this line? 1, 2, 3 over 1. Let's check again. 1, 2, 3 over 1. I like that. Up 3 over 1. Or you could just say 3. This line is solid, so it has an equal sign. And let's see which way they shaded. If this is the line, okay, they shaded below the line, below. So we're going to need to have a less than symbol. Let's put these together. Y. What's the inequality symbol for this line? Less than or equal to 3x minus 2. Let's finish off with one last word problem. So we have x's that are pounds of hamburger. So x's are hamburger, and we have chicken to be our y. Hamburger costs $2 a pound. I'm going to put the x there because hamburgers is x, and chicken costs 4. So we have 2x, and we have 4y. And now what does this say you can spend? $2, $4, at most $32. What's the symbol for at most? You can't go more, so you could go less than or equal to. This is just one inequality, not a system. So I can start. When you are in standard form, what kind of key features do you find? We don't do slope, we do x-intercept and the y-intercept. To find the x-intercept, we would solve 2x equals 32, divide 2, and the point for the x-intercept is 16, 0. Let's do the y-intercept. 4y equals 32. Remember, I changed that to an equal sign just so I can solve for the intercept point. And what is the y-intercept point? 0, 8. So on the x-axis we have 16. And on the y-axis we have 8. Let's not forget to label this graph right away. So I'm going to copy pounds of hamburger. Pounds of hamburger. And on the y-axis, pounds of chicken. So I've labeled the x and y-axis. Okay. And now there's a couple things we have to think about when you're graphing. What type of line are we going to use? A solid line because it has the equal sign. But we don't want to do any negatives. Point, point, solid. Okay. Now, how do you figure out the shading in standard form? We have to test the point 0, 0. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 4 times 0 makes 0. The question is 0 less than 32? Is 0 smaller? And the answer is yes. So right here on the origin, I'm getting a yes. So should I color this way towards 0, 0? And the answer is yes, but don't color any negatives. No negative. Stop on the x-axis. You can buy 0, but you can't buy negative. And there is the solution region. What is a possible solution for this graph? As long as you picked one in here, you would be correct. I'm gonna pick this one right here. We have 6, comma 4. Okay, and interpret means to explain. Okay. So the question says, how many pounds of each can you buy? I could buy lots of combinations, but one answer would be 6 pounds of hamburger and 4 pounds of chicken. Great job studying all the different ways to do inequalities.